of success and abundance. I am David J. Atwood. I'm the man rocking the Ray-Bans. And hello from a beautiful Friday morning. It is gorgeous out. It is 6 a.m. and the sun is out shining and it looks amazing. It's a little bit chilly this morning, but it was nice to get into the car and not have dew all over it, and it was nice and dry. I bought this car last August, and the funny thing is a buddy of mine has almost the same car. And just a quick note on that, and I can talk to this because I know he's not one of my subscribers. But he bought this car, and he bought it brand new off the lot, almost the same truck that I've got here, for $80,000. And he was like, well, it's the last truck I'm ever going to buy. And it's like, you know, and it had all the little bells and whistles that come with an $80,000 truck. And I just said, that's too much. So I waited a couple years, bought the same truck for $23,000. And if I dumped another 60 grand into it, I'm sure my car would be even in better shape than his is right now. It is just, it's one of those things that was burned into my brain when I was younger about buying used cars. It's just a much better way to go. The satisfaction of owning a new vehicle, that new car smell, it fades pretty fast. And not only that, but you are on edge so much until you get that first ding, and then you get that first scratch, and you're just on edge the whole time. So I like that I saved that much money on it, and we literally have the same truck. When we park beside you, you can hardly tell they're different. He might argue, of course he's going to argue, because he's got to justify the emotional spending of that extra 60 grand anyways. He was telling me that he went out and got a remote starter. And I thought, oh man, I would love to have a remote starter in my truck. That'd be so cool. And so I was like, you know, in the wintertime, start the car, get it warmed up, you know, get into a nice warm car and have all the frost, and so you don't have to scrape the windows when you get in the truck in the morning. It'd be so great. And then as I'm researching automatic or remote car starters, I go online and I go, you know, what if there's a hack with, you know, your remote key lock that, you know, you can like push it, panic button 7 times or something, and it starts the car. And then I went on to my key fob, and there was this little button, and I never pushed it before, and it said ~2. I'm like, I wonder what this does. It starts the car. I can't believe I was driving this truck around for a year without for almost a year without realizing that I already had a remote start in it. By the way, game changer. If you want to get one, it is a game changer. It's awesome. You know, it's wet out, it's raining, you start your car, by the time you get into it, your car's warm, and it's just such a great feeling. So great. And it's kind of luxury, you know. It's kind of like this oh, look at me, kind of remote. I loved it. Anyways, that was a fun little aside there. But yes, anyways, great morning. Got up a little bit earlier than normal, but man, I had a great sleep. Just really focusing on the dieting, and I was really careful with what I ate yesterday, and you know, no booze. So really want to start focusing on crushing that healthy lifestyle and getting back to where I was before. So the thing I wanted to talk about today was, a couple of days ago, I was holding court in a warehouse with a bunch of guys. Excuse me. And I started talking about how if you have, you don't need much to make $1 million, and it's not that hard. And one of the guys in the warehouse, great guy, salt of the earth guy, you know, funny, intelligent, you know, he's got all the tools needed to be a success. He looked at me and said, so how much do you need to start with? And I said, I'd say, to be conservative, I would say you should start with $4,000, but I really do believe you can do it with $2,000. and in less than a year you can be on your way to making $1 million quite comfortably. And he looked at me and he said, no, you're lying. That's absolute garbage. There's no way you can convert $2,000 into $1 million. If you could do it, then everyone would be doing it. And I said to him, everyone should be doing it. You should be getting out there and you should be hustling and you should be doing everything you can to make as much money as you can. But most people, and I mean the majority of people, even people probably watching this right now, you get up, you figure out what you need to survive. You figure out what you need to make. You get a job that covers that, and that's where you stay. You get into this habit of coming to work, coming home, passing out, watching TV, eating dinner, fighting with the wife, whatever it might be, and you get into this routine. And if I were to say to someone, okay, you got to be a salesman, you have to learn how to sell, and they're like, don't want to sell, don't want to be that kind of guy. I got things to do with my life. And it's like, okay, if you don't want to alter your behavior or your thought patterns, then you have to accept where you're at. You have to embrace the life that you have chosen. And so many people, when I'm talking to them about success, are telling me that it's impossible, but are unwilling to actually stand up and prove me wrong. All they want to do is go, nope, you prove me right. You prove to me how it can happen, but I'm not going to prove you wrong. I'm not going to go through the effort of trying to actually defend my thought process, defend how I feel about it. I'm in disbelief of what you are saying, and I need you to prove it to me. So many people are like that, and it's fine. So I went, okay, I'm going to do this. So I went back to my office, and I broke out my favorite software program, Excel spreadsheet, and I started slapping together a spreadsheet to prove how in 1 year, how easily it would be for someone to make, okay, maybe not $1 million, and I need to qualify that. You won't make $1 million in a year. I mean, maybe you will. I mean, you could. You absolutely could. But you will definitely be on track for it. And that's what I was trying to say. If you're making, say you're making $100,000 a year, which is it's pretty good money. If you're making $100,000 a year, you're making somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 a month or $6,000 a month. About $8,000 a month. You're doing pretty good. It's not too shabby, $100,000 a year. But in the town I'm in right now, $100,000 a year, you can barely get by on $100,000 a year. You would barely be able to. You wouldn't be able to if you weren't focused. You wouldn't be able to save up to buy a house with $100,000 a year. Amazing. But if so, $100,000 is not that great. But if you were able to get to a point where you're learning to sell and start living beneath your means, and actually working hard at trying to make the money, and you hustle for a year, not even a year, you would get to a point where you would you'd have income coming in every month. You would establish yourself in the real estate game. And just a little aside, I don't know why people are saying real estate's a bad investment. Real estate's a great investment. It always has been. And if you start talking to the people who actually made their money, they made it in real estate. Most people made their money in real estate. So real estate's a great investment. Look, I don't own businesses. I've never owned a vending machine business or a laundromat or a plumbing business. So I don't know. I'm not the expert on that. I don't have enough knowledge, I think, to teach people about it, but I do know real estate, and real estate has treated me really well. And so when people say, oh, real estate's the bubble's burst and you just can't make money in real estate anymore, I was like, I don't know where they're getting this information from, because every time I turn around, no, we're doing pretty good with real estate. I mean, it's not as good as it was in 2021, where it was like a 30% increase in revenue, but we're still doing pretty good. Anyways, if if people are willing to open their mind to possibilities and also open their mind to, okay, we might have to make some sacrifices, and this is where people don't want to make the adjustment. They don't want to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to sacrifice my free time. I'm going to sacrifice my watching Netflix. I'm going to sacrifice my going out with the boys and tying one on the weekends. You know, people just don't want to sit there and go, I'm going to sacrifice to get myself to that next level. So then they sit there, and because they don't want to do these things, they say to people like me, oh, it's impossible. If you, just a simple math thing, just forget my plan. My plan was honestly do some car flipping, do some gig work, and in a couple of months you're gonna have enough money for a down payment for a place. And it was funny, when I was trying to prove you could do it in a year, I actually proved you could do it in less than that, like 4 months. It was crazy how much if you really are fucking hustling. Pardon my French. But if we just do a simple math, very simple math. You work for 8 hours a day. There's a guy at work, and he is, he's in the engineering department. He's not an engineer. He's a electronics technician. And if you don't know what that is, it's the guys who build the circuit cards that run, you know, the huge systems we have for the military. This guy's smart. He went out, bought himself a Tesla when they were first coming out. And what he does is, the moment he gets off work at this really well-paying job, he gets into his car, he flicks on his Uber app, Skip the Dishes app, and starts delivering food all night long. And he'll do it till 11 o'clock in the morning. And what that guy has done is he's taken those extra 8 hours, that's extra 8 hours where most people are relaxing, you know, sitting down in front of the television. He took those and says, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to hustle because in this town I need to hustle. And he gets himself to the next level. Most people aren't willing to do that kind of thing. Most people aren't willing to work 2 jobs. Most people aren't willing to deliver pizzas. Most people aren't willing to get humiliated by 5-year-olds at their birthday party. Oh, darn it, there was a kid coming to work today. I was going to bring some magic. Totally forgot. Hope he likes card tricks. It's important to understand that it's possible. You have to open your mind to the possibility that success and abundance is available to you. If you are going to sit there and go, nope, 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 then there's no helping you. If you believe in your heart of hearts that there's no way, and if I have got to sit there and spend 2 days of my life trying to convince you that it's possible, you are so grounded in your belief system of how the wealthy stay wealthy, the poor get poorer. If you're grounded in that kind of mentality, that kind of thought process, there's not much I can do. I can throw a bunch of books at you. I can throw numbers and Excel spreadsheets. I can even give you money. I could even go and say, here's some money, and it wouldn't help. I've seen it happen before. I've seen people back in the 90s be made millionaires, and then 2 years later have nothing to show for it. I've seen people, I've given people help and advice and money, and they've all said, nope, it's not true, it can't happen, I'm poor, I'll always be poor. If you can't get out of that mindset, there's honestly there's no help. There's no help there's nothing that can help you. And I'm not saying you can't have a great life, you know, full of love and compassion and family and friends and fun. You can. But you're just going to be lacking in that one thing, that you're going to be lacking in that financial abundance. And that's where I get a little bit frustrated, because what people don't understand is, you know, they just did this new test. I have to wrap this up real quick here. They did this new study where they discovered that there was a correlation. They were trying to figure out what the correlation between longevity and what all centurions have in common. And they thought it was diet, food, you know, relationships, and you know, sleep and all stuff. No, it's leg strength. And that really made me think about finances and financial abundance. You got strong legs, you get to live longer. That's pretty freaking cool. But here's another part of it that's really amazing. If you're what are you doing there? If you have a good financial health, then you're gonna be able to have a better life. It's just the reality of it. And you know what? Money doesn't buy happiness, but you know what money does buy? It buys a stress-free life. It takes away stress. I know for myself, because I remember not too long ago, super stressed out about some bills I had. And you know what? When I went and I paid them, and the the debit card went through, everything went through fine. I tell you, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling knowing that, like last night, me and Gabby were talking, where do you want to go next? We're going to go to Curacao, the island of Curacao in the Caribbean. And we're like, why not? So that's the kind of thing that money can get. And it's not, yay, look at us, we're rich. It's, we have options, we have choices. And that's the big deal. That's really the big deal with all of it. Anyways, folks, I know there's a lot going on with my conversation today with regards to the show. But thanks so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Check out financialfreeway23.ca. And again, spread the word, because everyone has the right to live a life of success, happiness, and abundance. Thanks so much wherever you are in the world. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. God bless.